Okay, hey. Oh. I forgot that my mic was off. Okay. Hey to anybody who is coming over. Today we're doing an art stream. So, this is pretty new. Right now I'm using Clip Studio Paint, and I'm essentially going to draw a couple of OCs in a height chart, because to be honest, I've been wanting to do this a long time. It's just I haven't really had the time, and I didn't have a solidified mental image of the characters yet. But this height chart is essentially for a project that I'm working on with a friend. Her name is Zivia, aka Batraz. And essentially we're working together to make a romance comic with like some horror elements. So I'm just gonna randomly draw them and just talk about them how I can. So the first character that I'm working with is Bakura. Actually, let me go ahead and name this layer. I've just started to like be dedicated to naming my layers. That was one of my New Year's resolutions. Oh, excuse me. That was one of my New Year's resolutions because I simply don't name them. I get so caught up in just making a new thing that I really don't pay attention to doing it. So I'm just gonna wing it. Let me get, I needed the sub view, sub tool, navigator sub view, because I collected a bunch of different references and stuff. Let's see. I probably should have had these open before I started stream, but y'all not gonna come in here until later, so it'll be fine. So let's see. I need this. I need this. This will be a decent start for now. So like I said, I am drawing OCs that a friend of mine and I collaborated to make. Like, she made some of hers, I made some of mine, and some of these we made together. Actually, let me look at his information. And it's for a romance comic. What happened was, she and I, her name is Zivia, by the way, we were in a group and we had this idea to make a video game, and the project was going somewhat well at first, but as with any other project or just life in general, life happens. So we ended up canceling things, and then we ended up using our contributions to make other stuff. Right now I'm looking up OC information because I can't remember people's heights off the bat. I'm sorry. Wait, where is he? Damn it, now I gotta look in the damn Discord chat to see how tall he is. But some information on the character Bakura. He is a scientist who is working with the secret military organization to take the DNA from, what is it? That's Ty's height. I can't even find his height. I want to cry. As if he's not even on the phone right now, so I can't even get the information from her. I'm just gonna draw a pose. Or actually, how tall? How tall are you? How tall is she? tall is Conrad? How tall is... This is embarrassing. Well, while I'm looking for that, I'm just going to talk shit about these OCs. So, like, the name of the project is called Shreds of Knowledge, which is about Bakura, who's a scientist who's working with this secret military organization to take the DNA of these magical creatures and use it to enhance humanity, to make them dominant over these magical creatures. Because the way that the magic system works, we have ki, and you know, but ki, that's the life force that resides within everyone. Oh, there it is. But these magical creatures, is that how tall this bastard is? Wait, no, that was a lie. I cry. Oh, so he's 6'1". Gotcha. So let me... height markers. It's the life force that resides within all of us. But these creatures... You know, you have to train in order to... 2, 4, 6. So this will be 1. Actually, no. I'll use a line. Now, how do I make a line? There it is. And then I'll text something. Ooh. Make the font a lot smaller. Excuse me. But these creatures, they've managed to I almost lost my train of thought. So let me restart with the ki part. Ki is the life force energy that resides within all living things. Sort of like the actual real life lore of ki. But you have to train in order to unlock the full potential of your ki. Well, these creatures, which are called Nature, they have used ki for a lot longer than humans. Like, it's sort of incorporated into the culture to practice it and have practical applications, whereas humans have only just recently, within the past millennia, have only started to use ki. So they're not as adept at using it, and they end up depleting their energy a lot quicker over time. So this military organization, in hopes of taking over the world and dominating the harsh landscape, is going around capturing these magical creatures in order to siphon their powers and to try to become the dominant species. Bakura was an intern trying to get his doctorate in bioengineering, and before he started doing the shady stuff, he was already doing research on Nature with like their ability to naturally heal and all this other kind of stuff. But then he found out that his work was being used nefariously, and that's why he ends up joining the organization in order to try to take it down from the inside. So this is one of those secret operations. And that's just Bakura. It would be nice to see I also call her Twilight. Give me just one moment. I'll be back. There's something that I have to go get real quick. Okay, I'm back. I had to go get something real quick. I almost forgot my phone because I also need it for other references that I was looking for. So, let's see. I'm going to be doing a little bit of experimentation when it comes to this. So, some more information on Bakura while I am frantically sketching him to make him look somewhat legible as a person. Let's see, he's Afro-Greek. His mom is from southern Egypt, and his dad is Greek. Originally, we just had him as, like, just Greek. And, like, his mom was just really dark-skinned. Because, like, there are dark-skinned people in Greece. Like, it's literally in the Mediterranean. And because of the shared history that it has with Africa and stuff, that's just simply going to be a given. But actually, do I have any of the other references that I had? Let me see. threads. See, these are sketches. No. No. I need those sketches. Every time I think that I'm ready, I'm not. But then instead we made him Afro-Greek because he was loosely based off of Bakura and Yu-Gi-Oh! And the spirit that possessed him was Egyptian and stuff. So it's just like, why not make him Afro-Greek with the Afro being from Egypt? And then... Huh. I'm gonna cry because I can't even find the references that I saved for him. And I thought that I saved it this morning. If I can't find him within the next like 2 minutes, face sketches. That's one. Okay, we'll start with that. Then I'm also gonna look up the other sheet that I needed. I'm so sorry, guys. So I'll just talk about him as I'm trying to look for things. And then the other person who's going to be in the romance story, her name is Nima. She is a fashion designer who kills the same magical creatures that Bakura has to hunt down and experiment on. She's a fashion designer who kills these creatures in her free time. And her thing is that she gets caught up with the mob. See, these are visual references. She gets caught up with the mob because she accidentally kills the wrong target. So it becomes a problem. See, that's a reference. Models and art. Rest in peace. There it is. Okay, now we're cooking with gas. I knew it was somewhere. I just had to find it. I'm so sorry. It just needs to download, for the love of Christ. Please. Speaking of Christ, how's everybody's Easter? Today I went to service because my sister, I have a little sister, and she loves to dance. And she's actually trying out for the dance team next week. But this week she ended up doing a praise dance routine for the Easter program. And from what I'm guessing, they added the younger kids, because like my sister is in high school. they ended up adding the younger kids to the dance program at the last minute because one of the youth directors, she has a habit of involving the little kids, like forcing the little kids and the big kids to collaborate with each other. And that's not inherently a bad thing because, like, they're all in the youth department and they're all going to collaborate at some point. But, like, some stuff should just be for the little kids and other stuff should just be for the big kids. You can't just have something that was already established and then you want to have your little kids, because she has 2 small children. Like, one of them is in preschool and the other one is in grade school. So she wants to try to showcase them. But it's just like, you have plenty of other opportunities to showcase your kids instead of just forcing them on to the older ones, because all that's going to do is create awkwardness and a sense of resentment. And it's literally for no reason. It's like, why would you do that? And it just creates a really weird time for everybody. So, like, these 2 pictures that I just uploaded into the sub-review, this is the reference sheet that Zivia gave to me. And then this picture right here was my own rendition of Bakura because I was trying to work with, like, his hair and face and stuff. And it was a little bit difficult. Cause, like, I'm not the best at drawing hair. So I cry. And it took so many tries. Like, this picture is just one of many different iterations of Bakura because I pretty much obsessed over drawing him for a time. Because I was just trying to get stuff right. And then I need to find one more reference and then we can actually get started while I'm rambling. Me, when I don't have my stuff together. But for those who are willing to just stay and listen, I'm glad that y'all are just sitting in and listening. I appreciate it. Plus you get to have a good laugh while I fall apart. Oh, hey Donnie, how's it going? Did you celebrate Easter today? If you didn't, that's also fine. But I like Easter for the plate. Where's the other sketch? I'm just gonna look up has image. There it is. You stayed in and slept today? That's also good. I would have rested today if my sister didn't have a routine to perform. Cause she dances. And at the church we go to, she's a part of the praise dance team. My sleep schedule is a mess. So is mine. I literally did not go to bed until like 3 something this morning because I was busy playing Minecraft. Cause like a group that I'm in, they recently launched a new SMP, so I was getting used to the new mechanics and stuff of the mod pack because it's pretty different. Cause like it has some stuff with the Origins mod and it has some stuff with the Origins mod and there's like a tinkering mod. There's a lot more plants. There's practically a whole zoo of new mobs. Like there's kangaroos and I really want to get a kangaroo because I heard that you could put armor on them and use them as like guards and stuff. So my ass is gonna get wild with that, because imagine having attack kangaroos. That sounds both crazy and wild to have, but also really fun. But right now, I am just talking about OCs that I have. This person technically is not my OC. Well, there is no technically to it. This person is not my OC. It's a collaboration with a friend and mine. It's a collaboration between a friend and me, a friend and I. And we're essentially making a romance comic with some horror elements. And like I always emphasize with some horror elements, because some of the situations they're straight up horrific. Like, it's spooky out here. But what I'm going to try to do, I don't want to use realistic proportions or drawing them, but I might have to. Because, like, I didn't want to do that much detail with drawing the height chart for these characters, but I'm probably going to do that. So, horror romance. It's going to have both body and slasher horror, or at least those are the influences. Because it's about a scientist who experiments on these magical creatures in order to promote the enhancement of humanity. And he crosses paths with... And he managed to succeed. Like, he's good at his job. But, he crossed paths with this, do I have to use a damn model? I might have to use a model. Like, I thought that I was ready to draw in front of a crowd, but apparently I am not. So what we're going to do is use a 3D model.
Straight to the point. I found marijuana in the house.
Because we work smarter, not harder in this house. I don't need a pose. I need an actual body.
I found a joint in Mom's dresser drawer.
Oh, a body type. That's what I need. Like, it's not even that I'm scared. It's just that, okay, I come in here thinking that I'm hot shit. Okay, so what I need to do, thinking that I'm hot shit and that I'm gonna get shit done, and then I forget to have all of my references ready. Like, I thought that I had all of them, but that was a lie. So I'm gonna use this 3D model. Yeah, like, it is funny, but at the same time it's just like, wow, despair. Okay, I'm gonna use this, and then I'm gonna make this a lot bigger so I have a bigger reference to work with. Nah. Nope. At least you have preference of mine to use, or if I scribble the worst little things. Sometimes it's nice to work from scratch. I just prefer not to. Like, I prefer to have some sort of launch pad to work from. This model is not working. I'm just not. I'm determined to draw this man. Every time I draw this man, it is a problem in some regard. And like my friend Zivia, who's the person that I'm working with, she's always like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, what you're apologizing for? The struggle. I wouldn't necessarily say that it makes it fun, because sometimes I get annoyed as fuck. But like, it's nice to have a challenge at least, because at least you stay on your toes. No. It's just this pose. Fuck this pose. I'm gonna go pick another one. It's just like, I put 2 lines down, and then I'm like, fuck this. I'm gonna get another reference. That's also a little bit of my problem with references. Like, I could do better. So let's see. Standing pose. Reference. Male. I stay awake, but I see daylight. But I've been loving all the time. Can you place your bed next to mine? I know we got things to do, but my days are better. Posing those models is my last resort. It's so hard. Yeah, like I wish that. Honestly, I just wish that there was like a better way to post stuff. There probably is, but I'm just not used to it because I've only been using it recently. And like, if the pose is already made, then I use that. But like, trying to make it conform to the actual form that I want it to be, that's where it's like, wow, you just hate me, don't you? I'm getting close to finding that standing pose though, I swear. I swear. Believe in me. I probably went on the worst site to find something. Excuse me. It's cold in this room. So whenever there's like a rapid change in temperature, my ass, I have a hard time. Let's see if there's a drawing version of it. Okay, this is better. Save image as. Also, thank you. Okay, so let's flip the head.
Got so much shit to do today.
Neck and torso.
I can't seem to begin.
As I said earlier in the stream, like I am just now, actually I shouldn't have flipped the head.
Light 'em up again. Something's breathing down my neck.
But like I'm trying to name my layers more often because that's responsible.
Things I should have said.
Let's see.
Underlined in red, staring at me blankly from the far side of my bed. My eyes are getting red, and it's all in my head. I can't help feeling paralyzed, paralyzed.
Let's see. Zoom out a bit. Oh, thanks. There's this one streamer named Love Murrow. Some of these music choices I've gotten from her because she plays a lot of hyperpop stuff in her stream, and I like hyperpop sometimes. And then with other songs, it's just video game soundtracks or Vocaloid. Although I should probably add a little bit more Vocaloid because I really like Vocaloid. Let's see, let me do legs. Or let's see, right leg. Yeah, I gotta make this torso smaller. So let's see. Right leg. I'm trying not to make his torso a bit too small because he is a dude. And like dudes tend to have longer torsos than legs, but then at the same time, like, he's also pretty tall. Like, this guy is sort of, if you've ever seen the if you ever read the manga or seen the anime Black Butler, he's a little bit built like Sebastian. How he's tall and has this sort of wiry frame. Well, I wouldn't even say wiry. Sebastian is more of a wiry. This guy is a little bit on the muscular side. Because he's in a military organization, and even though he's not directly in combat, but like they're still required to have some sort of basic training. So instead of right leg too, it's left leg. It's like he has to have some sort of basic training, and occasionally they do the exercise and stuff, because like he's not in combat, but he does work in the field. Actually, I'm gonna get some tissue. It's too cold in here and I sneezed a little bit too hard. So my nose. Let me save, and then I'll be right back. Yeah, I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. It was hard for me to find a tissue box. Like, I knew that I had one. And I was like, where are you? Where are you? I was going to cry internally. But yeah, this guy has a, how to describe it, I wouldn't necessarily say a swimmer's body. There's like a L word. I think lithe. That's the word that I'm looking for to sort of describe his form. It's on the more slender side. Thanks for greeting me back. His body is on the more slender side, but it's still some musculature to it. Let's see. So it's like knowing when to bulk him out or bulk him up, and knowing when to excuse me. Like I said, it's cold in the house because like it's cold outside, but two of my family members, they get really warm easily, so the house is usually made to cater to them. So I just deal with it. I just bundle up and I try to have a good day. Let's see, how do I do feet? Probably should have extracted this. Like, I like to separate the limbs just so, you know, I know which limb to differentiate between. Also, thank you. Let's see. Right leg, so right foot. Like any other artist that exists in pain and is eating McStruggles, drawing feet is a bitch, but usually I do triangles, or I try to do triangles, or like a stretched out trapezoid of some sort. Like, it's better-ish. I'm gonna have to make the whole body a little bit smaller. Usually it's good to put the heel. Yeah, put the heel at the bottom. And then what comes after the heel, it's fine. Sometimes it's just vibes. You like to think that you're good at feet. Sometimes you don't have to know. Unless you're doing a tutorial, then you kind of have to know because you're giving other people instructions. But like, well, you're just doing it for yourself, then you're fine. Let's see. Left foot. I sort of used the, have you ever heard of this one artist named Taco, I think 1747 or something like that? I think this is a strong pose. I'm gonna keep this like this for now, and then I'm gonna work on the other person. As soon as I look at her doc and see how tall she is, because like I love my OCs, but that doesn't mean that I know them like that. I will imply stop thinking. That's terrible. But you know what? Sometimes that works. We can all afford to be a little bit brainless. Especially when you're overthinking. That's like a good counter to it, I think. At least to me. See, she's 5'5". Gonna use purple. Or honestly, I should use a red. So 5'6". That's 5'4". So this taco person, yeah, I could find their Twitter page and post them. Give me just a moment. It's Taco 1704. They have a Twitter page, and I also see a lot of their tutorials on I see a lot of their tutorials on Pinterest as well, because like sometimes I save them to my board. There you go. What do you mean first? Like first one in stream? Yeah. Assuming that there wasn't anybody lurking in here. But let's see, let me type the name so I remember. Like, I'm not gonna forget, but just in case. I get scared. Ah. Oh, that's because you're not designated to post a link. I have to whitelist you. I would have to whitelist you. Rest in peace. Stop. Okay, so what's the... These are all of the Pakura references that I'm gonna use when I when I get back on them, and my throat is dry. I need water. Okay, now I'm okay. Let me find the pose that I want. This is the pose. So I'll make a folder for Nima. There's so many OCs, but I swear I only know the height of one of them. I make docs just so I could keep track of stuff, especially when it comes to appearance. Because if I want to draw them consistently. Because like most of the OCs that I made, besides self-inserts, they're like actually for stories and stuff. So I want to have some sort of consistency. I just gotta actually make a damn character sheet. I just gotta actually make a damn character sheet. I cry. No, let's start big and downscale from there. I like to do that. Because when I start too small and then I expand the image, then it's all pixely and gross. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. I did not ask. But then I technically asked for it by doing that setting. by doing the expansion thing. And this is why we start small and go. Well, no, this is why we start big and go small. Pida twice in a row? Sorta? Nah. I'm too scared to do profile right now. We're gonna do 3/4. We gonna be scared. Well, technically this isn't a 3/4. This is more like a 4th, 5th of some sort. I gotta squash it a bit though, because Nima has a rounder face. I love this singer. Her name is Pida. How did I find out about her? Oh yeah, I saw her on Twitter because apparently idol culture is a lot bigger than just East Asia. Cause it was like an anniversary of a performance that she had, I think. And and then I'm making this torso a bit rounder. I'm looking at the pronoun bot. It is filling out a lot more often than I thought. I might have to change the settings for that. Because I had it for like every 10 lines, but then I guess it's doing it more frequently. I don't know why. Let's see. Start with the torso. We're gonna start small and make it big. Now, whenever I draw bodies, I do that instead of the start big and work small, cause like it's a little bit hard. I start small, cause you know you technically start small with your body, like the bones, and then the muscle, and then the fat. So like I sort of think about it that way. See. Oh, shit. I'm separating the legs. Cut and paste. Leg. And then separating this leg. yeah, so about this character that I'm drawing right now. Her name is Nima, as you can see. And she is a fashion designer from a very prominent fashion house called House Suster, because her last name is Suster. Most fashion houses are like named directly after the founder, taken from their last name. Although there are exceptions, because like Nike is based off of the goddess of victory, because you know they want athletes to excel with their product. But Nima is the CEO and creative director of a prominent fashion house. And like, she could come across as very stern. The way that I characterized her, at least in the professional field, she could be sort of like Amanda in Devil Wears Prada, so like very stern, has a deep understanding and dedication to the craft. And then okay, I'm gonna scale this head until it is the same size as Bakura's head, because that will help. A little bit more. That helps. So I need to make the torso longer anyways, and make the legs come down a bit more. But she is the mother of a prominent excuse me, of a prominent fashion house. And she's very stern, understanding of the craft. She loves the craft. She lives for the craft. And but she does have a lot of anger issues, because her day-to-day work can be hella stressful. So in order to cope with the stress of her job, when she's off, she would go and just straight up commit murder. Like, there are these sentient magical creatures called Naturae. The best way to describe them is just magic furries. Like, imagine the Beastars characters, but if they could do kung fu, but like the kung fu that happens in wuxia films, but it's the traditional wuxia films. She does that. She does that. Also, what was the link that you were trying to send, Donnie? Let's see. Kung Fu Panda. It was Taco's Twitter. Oh, I just sent it. It's fine. Yeah, pretty much. Just Kung Fu Panda. But then there's like some hints of what's the word? There's like some hints of, what am I thinking of? Some fantastical elements. Like Tigress's unnatural markings, or Viper's unnatural like the unnatural markings and stuff. There's a little bit of quirks here and there to show that they're not just upright animals. Honestly, I should probably, I'm gonna redo and torso. I'm gonna do like a little skeleton thingy, just so we get the pose down and we know what to shade. It's like making a sculpture, but annoying. It's like making a sculpture, but annoying. We cry. But, it's like that. So, she would go and kill these magical creatures because the rush of the fight sort of helps her get that catharsis for that pent-up anger on the day-to-day. Because, you know, being a girl boss is very stressful. And if a couple of lives are lost to appease the girl boss, then that is a sacrifice we should be willing to make. But as tribute to the Nature that give her a good fight, she turns them into outfits in her personal collection. Yeah, she's pretty hardcore, and she does not care about the situation or like the moral implications of such. It's pretty much exploitation, because you're straight up killing somebody and turning them into an outfit. But like in her twisted form of appreciation, in a twisted sense of appreciation, she turns them into an outfit. You know, I wonder, so how does this work? So another thing that you could do if you don't understand how a fucking pose works is to just trace over and then try again. As long as you are honest about the tracing, it should be fine. The only time that I know that tracing is like inherently bad, of course, if somebody made it to not do that. Do not say it. But like the old masters trace, their mamas traced, it is okay. You just gotta be careful about it. 101 Dalmatians all over again. Yeah, I actually took heavy inspiration from Cruella. Like, I made a playlist for this person because sometimes whenever I draw OCs, I like to make a playlist. So I know, so it helps me to focus. I know I misspelled torso. We're just gonna pretend that didn't happen. That's not the important part right now. It's like that one person who was drowning and he was just like, I'm having such a good day right now. He was just like, isn't somebody drowning? And he was just like, this isn't about them. This is me. But yeah, one of the songs that I have on her playlist is Cruella, but it's specifically the cover done by Selena Gomez. Plus, I love listening to character playlists, but only OCs, because I tend to have a problem with say character playlists based off of existing characters, because it doesn't fit my personal idea of what the character Like, I wish more people would specify whether it's songs that reminds them of the character or if it's songs that the character would listen to. I think that's an important distinction. Because, like, you got JoJo fans, for example. They would make a playlist of Narancha, right? And it would have Mitsuki in there. And it's just like, this Mitsuki song may remind you of Narancha, but that little motherfucker listens to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre. Mitsuki is not touching his playlist. Not to mention, this takes place in, like, Golden Wind takes part 5. Takes place in, like, damn it, I can't remember. It takes place in, like, the early 2000s before Mitsuki really broke out. So, like, it's even more incorrect. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, this song reminds me of him, and that's perfectly fine. But don't fucking put Billie Eilish in a playlist and tell me that damn Jotaro Kujo will listen to it when he listens to jazz. Because his dad is a jazz musician. Like, be for real. Be for real. Like, don't do that. Don't lie to me. Don't play with my emotions. I'm giving her bigger legs because she's plus size. I'm gonna trim it down though. Because the kind of plus size she is not that kind of plus size. Like with Nima, I have to get used to drawing her more often. Even though I've drawn her so many times. But like her weight always goes up and down. Sort of like real women. Real women's weight goes up and down because of like hormones and shit. You gotta love it when the moon pays a visit and then all of a sudden you can't fit your pants. Rest in peace. But like at the same time I'm like, please let me be consistent in scaling at least. C F. This is something that anime artists never want to draw though. Like they don't portray the struggles, the triumphs. Like, they want to draw big booty bitches, but without any of the consideration of what it is like to actually be a big booty bitch. Like, no. It's not just sunshine and lollipops. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you have to change your entire wardrobe for the day. Because all of a sudden you can't fit your damn pants. I don't know why I did that. So real, yeah. Like sometimes the best way to draw a character is to draw from experience. But people don't like to do that. Which is somewhat understandable. Because real life experience, it could be a pain in the ass. And there's nothing wrong with like drawing what you like. But like at the same time, if you want it to be immersive, you have to take some things with reality into consideration. So like with this picture, this is actually one of the attempts that I made to make a character sheet for Nima. Cause like I'm gonna make character sheets for them at some point. Just not today, I don't feel like it. Should probably make the torso a little bit longer. Like, I think that a good thing with like art, especially if it's like art with the purpose of telling a story, it's important to incorporate some of the shit. I'm not trying to move it, please. I think it's imperative to incorporate some of the real instead of just thinking about desires and fantasy. Like there needs to be some self-reflection even with self-indulgence, because you're actually evaluating your decisions and why you do the things that you do, and it sort of creates more it adds to purpose. Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna make the bell. Okay, I'll see you in a few. Welcome back. Welcome. Or, can you hear me? Oh, never mind. My mic wasn't messing up. But welcome back. Let's see. I just gotta draw the feet. So let's see. So right foot. Here's my other struggle with drawing feet again. Oh, just. Actually, don't dump those. I haven't watched those yet. Oh, you put them in the dryer? Okay. Oh, so did Mom watch the other loads?
Yeah. Or no, these were in the washer and now in the dryer.
Okay. My sister came in with laundry. Let's see. I'm gonna make her body a little bit smaller. Just a wee bit. Actually, no, I'm supposed to make her taller. She's wearing heels. Like, she's supposed to be 5'5", but she's 5'8" when she wears heels. I'm glad that I remembered that, because that would have been a pain in the ass trying to draw the feet. I still need to make her body a little bit smaller though. I should also make the neck bigger. I love this theme so much. I like the Undertale soundtrack in general, because it's very cutesy and stuff. It's such a vibe. Until you decide to go to the dark side and then start slaying everything. Yes, Undertale music slaps. My favorite theme is probably Undyne's, like both of them. Because like it makes you feel motivated to fight, even though you're technically not supposed to be trying to fight her. You're just trying to survive. Like the goal is to just try to survive. But it's just like, nah, I'm gonna fight back. Let's go. Oh, your favorite is Azrael's theme? True, that's a really good one. Do I have one of Taco's tutorials with me right now? There it is. I use this all the time whenever I have to draw heels. Of course I tweak it so it fits me. Actually, sometimes I tweak it so it fits me, and then other times I just bite the bullet and be like, yeah, I'm not the one. I have to do it this way. Actually, I like Azrael. It's so sad what happened to him. Like, speaking of what happened to Azrael, what do you think about Kara? Because, like, I always get conflicting opinions about Kara. Not necessarily that people are conflicted about their feelings, but, like, some people say that Kara is the main villain, and some folks say that the player is the main villain because, you know, the genocide route. Because it's just like you were the one who chose to do that, which is true. It's just that, like, even when the player chooses to do that, there are... I'm not saying that it's not the player's fault, because it definitely isn't. But, like, I wasn't a big fan of, like, this idea, oh, Kara is the good guy because they're trying to stop you. And I'm like, Kara literally proposed that y'all destroy the world together. And then once you reject them, or you fulfill your role for them, they end up taking over your body. What the fuck is good about that? They just stopped you so they could go on a rampage. And then when you have those different conversations with Flowey and stuff in that route, you know, the whole thing about how Kara took over Azrael's body in order to, like, attack the villagers when they crossed over, and that's how Azrael ended up getting attacked by the humans in the first place. Like, I feel like people forgot that. I'm like, are y'all okay? I don't even think that it's necessarily a power thing. Like, Kara was the first human that fell. Who knows why they fell in the hole, because they could have been exploring, but, like, the first thing that they do when they cross the border in Azrael's body is, like, try to attack the folks over there. So, on one hand, it could have been out of a sense of vengeance for their newfound family. Because it could be that, or it could be that they had a vendetta against the folks on the surface, and that's how they ended up underground in the first place, because they were, like, trying to leave. That's the nice way to put it. I do think that Kara is neat, because it's just like, oh, you really thought... You thought that you were above the consequence. It was like, when will you learn? Maybe someone pushed him. That's also something. They could have been just thinking about that person who pushed them the whole time. Well, with their new family. And it's just like, yeah, we're gonna get out. You know what? Yeah. We also love hating hands. I'm just gonna put the two together and act like I've done something. And that's how we do that. That's how we do things. At least whenever I'm sketching. This is a sketch. Like, once I put clothes and faces and stuff on them, it's just gonna be... When I do a full-on illustration... I have done full-on illustrations, but I cannot share those. Like, I can, but I can't share those on this platform in particular. We don't necessarily know how Kara got that way. We know the beginning and we know the end if you do the genocide route, but we don't necessarily know the in-between. Flowey was the one, after finding out how to reset, ended up corrupting, and that was because his circumstances were already ass. Like, he died and then he got mutated into a flower. And then no matter how many times he reset, he couldn't turn back to normal or go back home. So I think it's because of like that devastation. Like, I have this power, but I can't even do what I really want. That's when he became all nihilistic and shit. Whereas with Kara, we kind of don't know their perspective on this. Gotta look up something real quick. Guess I was thinking about Azrael again. Oh, it's fine. Like, sometimes I Mandela myself when it comes to lore in general. Because, like, I really love lore. But then if it's something that I haven't been in contact with for a while and I'm not, like, really focused on in the moment, I will forget. I will get a character swapped or something, or I'm like, I know this happened to this character, and kind of find out that did not happen. That was a lie. Like, I fooled myself. I need to make Bakura a bit wider. Like, he's a bit of a string bean, but not that much. Writing for Delta Rim Part 3 can do that to a person. Yeah! Like, it's such a hassle. Wait, you're writing for Delta Rim Part 3? How's that going? Hold on, I'm trying to find something. It's painful. Yeah. I feel like writing for RPGs, it just has that certain kind of difficulty, especially if you're doing something like different endings. Like, it's a mixed struggle. I'm gonna make her arms thicker. Shit, wrong color. I was like, oh no! Then I did it on the wrong layer. Good lord. Not writing, waiting. Oh yeah. To be honest, I haven't really touched the Undertale franchise since Undertale. Like, I haven't even played the game. I watched Jacksepticeye play it. I watched Jacksepticeye play it, and then I read some fanfics. And I drew Mettaton like one time, and I fell in love with my depiction of Mettaton because I was so proud of myself. Like, I know what's going on in Deltarune. Like how Chris is a different character. How this is essentially an alternate reality where there's some crossover. I should bring the boobs down. I'm like, something is wrong. The boobs are a bit too high. Yeah, I know it. The torso should have been a bit longer. I'm like... Cause... Okay. Something to me was wrong. Cause I'm just like, she feels too tall. And that's because her legs are really long. Like, the best... Or, like, one of the easiest ways to make a character look taller instead of just scaling them above other people is to, I watched them too, then I played them. Deltarune is super fun. Oh, that's nice. It's a live experience. I never got one Undertale. I got the live experience with Undertale. It's half and half, right? Like, it's definitely fun to experience something for the first time with a bunch of other people and to all grow that love with something together, especially while the fandom was a lot more active. So, but then at the same time, it could be a little bit overrated because, like, since it's heightened fandom activity, that means there's heightened activity of everything fandom, whether it's the good, the bad, or the ugly. And, like, unfortunately, no matter where I went, because I really like Sans, I saw nothing but bullshit. Well, not nothing but bullshit, but, like, there was a lot of bullshit, and it's just like, wow. Shut the hell up.
3 and 4.
Count what you have now. Don't count what you don't have. So, like, don't feel so... I simply do not interact with I'm literally at that point. I do not talk to motherfuckers. Because, like, they suck the fun out of so much with stuff from Ship Wars. And it's just like, some things is like, why are you even shipping this at all? And it's just like, well, I find it cute. And I'm like, well, your standards of cuteness are pretty ass. Go home. Get out of here. It's time to stop. Stop it. Get some... Especially when it comes to, like, certain ship discourse. Like, I just found out that, that Sophia the First has a fandom. Like, fandom in the traditional sense. So, like folks writing fan fiction and stuff. And I'm like, is this Sophia the First for, like, preschoolers? And I'm like, I know these motherfuckers can't even write their names, so that means that there's like teenagers and up getting into Sophia the First, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because like I've seen a couple of episodes of Sophia the First. It's a fun show. It's a kid show. Yeah, it's a kid show, but like kid show doesn't necessarily mean that it won't have a fandom, because like look at Steven Universe and My Little Pony. A lot of teenagers like that. Sophia the First specifically is a preschooler show. It's a show for folks who don't even know how to count to 1,000 yet. So it's just like, to hear about teenagers and adults getting into it, that's not necessarily the bad part. Cause like I have a little sibling, so I was still watching baby shows, and we're like 7 years apart, so I was still watching baby shows while I was in like middle school and high school because of her age. And then some folks are parents, or they work at daycare and stuff, and they work with kids, so they end up finding out about the shows and watching them so they can understand their kids or their students and stuff. And that's more than fine, because like that's how a lot of adults got into Bluey. Yeah, I experienced it with MLP. Taught me not to just disengage sometimes. Yeah, because like with My Little Pony, the problem with My Little Pony was that it was grown ass men who thought that because they liked the show. And like, I'm not shitting on the bronies who were like kids or whatever, I'm shitting on the adult bronies specifically. It was grown ass men who was just like, well, we're spending our time watching it and we're spending money for it. And it was just like, okay, the kids are spending their allowance money and their parents who love them are spending money on this franchise. And this show was made and marketed for grade school age girls. You're not the target demographic, so not everything should be catered to you. I think that Hasbro made a mistake when they tried to pander to bronies as well, because like your target audience are grade school girls and bronies are mostly grown men. Those are two very different demographics, and it's hard to cater to both at the same time, especially when the show is already branded as really girly and stuff. It's really hard to like neutralize it in order to appeal to both. And you shouldn't have to neutralize it to appeal to both. If you're a grown ass man watching My Little Pony, that's your decision. And what you see is what you get. What you see is what you get. But like how like the problem with adults getting into kid stuff nowadays is that they think that because they decide to spend their time and life and existence getting into stuff that wasn't even made and marketed for them, that everything that they say has value. Some of what they say has value, because like sometimes I shit on kids cartoons and how they are extremely dumbed down, and it isn't like the fun dumb, like say Flapjack or Chowder, where it's like episodic and you're just having fun with the plot. But something like Teen Titans Go, how there's like, I'll shit on Teen Titans Go because there's like a lot of fetish content in there, and there's like a lot of it. And it's one thing for adults to make the occasional adult joke and stuff, but like there sometimes that goes too far. Like I should not see jokes of like Cyborg beating his meat to Raven's legs, or Beast Boy twerking, or that one episode where Beast Boy turned into a cow and squirted milk onto Wonder Woman like 5 times because that was supposed to be a cum joke. Like Teen Titans Go is gross. Because people are like, oh, y'all are just hating on it because of nostalgia and stuff. And I'm like, not really. People, like, okay, there's definitely some people who were hating on it because of nostalgia. But, like, a lot more people were upset at the fact that they were promised a new season of the original Teen Titans Go because it didn't have a series finale. It got canceled. It didn't have a series finale. It got canceled. And Cartoon Network was just like, well, if Teen Titans Go does well, then we'll give y'all another season, only to not get another season. People were upset that they got lied to. And then when they look at the content that they're getting, that they got lied to for, it's even more insulting. So that's why folks hate Teen Titans Go so much. At least that's why the average person dislikes it so much. And then the other reason was that that's all that played. Like, there were days where Cartoon Network would play nothing but Teen Titans Go, and it would be a marathon for a whole week. So like shows like Steven Universe and stuff, we would just go on these long ass hiatuses due to corporate meddling and stuff, because it's just like, oh, this show is too gay. So we're not gonna give it proper airtime and stuff, even though you knew exactly what Rebecca was trying to do when she pitched the show. You know the demographic that she is, because Rebecca is non-binary. She goes by she and they. So it's like, you knew what vibes were there. I felt the same, but just accepted it. It was a silly spinoff and ignored it. Didn't realize it got so yeah. And then like every season, they pretty much make an episode that's like, that could be best described as dabbing on the haters, pretty much. Because it's just like, oh, like every episode, there's an episode where they're like, oh, y'all hate this show. And it happened for like 5 seasons, because somebody did an analysis video. It was just like, did you know that every season they have at least one episode where the whole thing is like complaining about fans complaining? And it's just like, they realize that some of us actually get paid to complain, right? So they're just giving us more content so we can feed and get our paychecks made. But it's just the fact that, like, there was an episode where they had some of the animators and stuff voice act as characters, because Teen Titans Go was just like, why aren't we great anymore? And all this other kind of junk. And they were like, we slave all day for days and stuff, only for people to complain about our work. And that sucks, because like sometimes the harshest people towards animators and towards animation staff can be animation fans themselves. They have no ideas. I wouldn't necessarily say that they have no ideas, because like it's not necessarily on the staff themselves that there's like no ideas. They have to pander to executives, and the executives running these companies aren't creative in any regard. And then it also doesn't help that even if there's like administrative team that is creative, some of these are grown-ass adults who like live off of spiting other people. So there's also that. But like for the most part, you're not marketing the show to the audience, you're marketing to the executives who's paying for the project, unfortunately. So you can make something that makes people in general angry, but because it pleases the executives, it's fine. And like people are like, well, kids really like Teen Titans Go, and it's just like literally for like a year and a half, that's all they played on the channel. You had to wake up super early or super late to see any show that wasn't Teen Titans Go. Of course kids are gonna like it, because that's the only option that's given to them. And then it also doesn't help that grown adults like to hate watch stuff. Like the least you could have done was pirate. But now you tune into the channel itself, or you tune into the official page, and you tune into the official page and watch it legally, which gives it revenue just to make react content and to talk shit. So like, of course they're going to keep making this stuff because it's getting engagement, because there's no such thing as negative engagement in entertainment. Like the goal is to get as much attention as possible. So that's why giving hate reviews and dislikes on something made by a megacorp, it really doesn't do anything. Especially now that YouTube has made it where you can't even see dislikes anymore if they so choose fit. Okay, I'm gonna add Bakura's clothes. Like, what I wanted to do today was draw 4 people, because I wanted to draw 2 characters. Like, I wanted to draw 4 characters, and 2 of the other characters that I was planning to draw was going to they're like the right hands of Nima and Bakura respectively. Bakura, since he works in a lab, he doesn't necessarily have a lab assistant, but she's his second command in his department. She's his second in command in his department, and they work closely together because of being the second in command and shit, and they talk shit and stuff. Let me save this. I gotta look up a reference for clothing folds, because I forgot how those work. But yeah, the animation industry, and just entertainment in general, because it's not just animation that suffers from this. I am of the firm belief that the Joker movie wasn't even supposed to be a Joker movie originally. Because when you look at it, yeah, using refs will save your ass. Now, of course, you gotta practice using refs, because sometimes it could also beat your ass if you're not careful. But, having something to look at, it goes a long way. Oh, Joker movie conspiracy? I don't necessarily think it's a conspiracy. I just think that the Joker movie wasn't supposed to be a Joker movie, but they ended up making it that because that was the only way that the creator could get funding to do it. Because like it's just utilizing Batman characters, but like Joker isn't Joker to me. Like, I don't like the thought of giving him a sympathetic backstory, partially because Joker has never had a backstory to begin with. Like, the closest that we've had is Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, which was that whole thing about him being the original Red Hood and falling in Ace Chemicals and turning into what he is now. But in Alan Moore's The Killing Joke, it's understood that Joker is an unreliable narrator, so he just uses these bullshit stories to either gain sympathy or to catch a person off guard. Like, Arthur Fleck isn't the Joker, he's just Arthur. And he was somebody who was having a hard time, and he eventually snapped under the pressures of consistently having a hard time throughout his life. Like, I think that the Joker movie, it's pretty much taken inspiration from Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, and it was just a tribute to like those movies that the director loves. But they wouldn't fund that because it's just like, well, because even though those are like very prolific and famous movies, they're not as large of a property as DC. So it's just like, in order to get more why not just make a Batman movie instead? And that's how it ended up turning to that. And then I feel the same way when it comes to the She-Ra reboot with Noelle Stevenson. Like, she said that she wanted to do a She-Ra reboot, but like in earlier reviews, like when they first started doing promotion for the TV show, I doubt that, because like some of the comments that she would make about the original show and stuff, and like some of them were joking, but like it's kind of clear that you really didn't engage with the property that you and the company are trying to profit off of. Because like when she was talking about the lack of diversity and how it's like super camp, and it's just like, first of all, this is the 80s, it's going to be camp. And then a misconception about the She-Ra show, like the She-Ra show, the original one, it definitely lacked in like body diversity and in racial diversity compared to other 80s TV shows marketed to kids, because like it was during the 80s where you saw a lot more demographics in general, because like the Captain Planet and the Planeteers, they had a black dude as the leader, and with Extreme Ghostbusters, you had a Hispanic kid and an Asian kid and a kid in a wheelchair, I think, and stuff. And I'm fairly certain that the Magic School Bus came out around that time. So like you were seeing a lot more diversity and stuff. And then I think that Disney was doing their international neighbors thing, and that's how the Three Caballeros became. So like when She-Ra came out, it sort of dropped the ball, especially when Filmation was already doing other diverse stuff. Like Braveheart was about this intergalactic sheriff who was Native American, because he was a sheriff who was defending the planet of New Texas from different outlaws and stuff. And then with He-Man, but like the problem with that sort of sentiment is that it's not really looking at the full story. It's just like there's no body diversity, and it's just like this is because Filmation was still a small company at the time, and they couldn't afford to have different body types, and you could kind of say the same about any other 80s cartoon. Another thing was that like most 80s cartoons, it was like, oh, the She-Ra show was made to sell action figures, and it's just like that's literally every cartoon in the 80s. The TV shows were always made to sell merch. And then another thing was that even though Filmation didn't have inclusion on the screen, they definitely had it in the workplace. Like Erica Scheimer, who was one of the voice actresses of She-Ra, she's a lesbian, and like her dad, like she's technically a nepo baby, because her dad made that studio so she could have a guaranteed place to work without being judged for who she was. But like she wasn't the only one who like profited off of that environment. She wasn't the only one who thrived in that environment. Like Filmation had a lot of staff who were either LGBT or POC working on it, and one of the producers, Larry Houston, in order to compensate for like the lack of visual inclusion on the show with the extra merch, like whenever they sold extra characters or they had comics and stuff, he did a lot of the inclusion in the Masters of the Universe comics. Something that I really don't like about modern day sentiments when it comes to diversity and inclusion is how people look to the past. And it's okay to be critical, because like it's okay to be critical of the past. Just because something is a product of their time, saying that something's a product of his time really isn't saying anything profound, because it doesn't necessarily mean that it was okay back then, because a lot of people spoke out against the lack of inclusion and stuff back then. It's just that less people listen, and now there's a lot more listening now. But I will never put any company on a pedestal for doing the bare minimum of doing visual diversity, because when you look at what's behind the scenes and stuff, it's still very exclusive in the workplace, how you only have a certain demographic in charge of administrative decisions, how you got concept artists who have to be told to make darker skinned characters lighter in order to maintain international marketability and all of this other kind of stuff. How with stuff like Warner Bros, you could have something made by a diverse team of people and then the project gets canceled for a tax write-off. Like, I'm not gonna applaud DreamWorks for the She-Ra show, because like, even though they were talking all this good stuff about diversity on the screen, the vast majority of the folks who were working on it, there was a lot of LGBT representation, but the POC representation behind the scene was very much lacking. And you could sort of see it when you look at some of the character designs with how certain features were drawn. Like, I'll give it credit for the casual representation, because I think that casual representation is oftentimes overlooked. Like, some shows get praised for handling certain problems, and that's important. We need to talk about certain social problems and stuff. It's just that minorities shouldn't only exist to like teach other people a lesson about stuff. Minorities should be able to be in the story and not have to have their personal stories revolve around oppression all the time, because that could get old. Because it's just like, whenever you talk to your friend or when you're talking to somebody, you're not just always talking about like societal problems all the time. You could just be talking about going to the grocery store, and that's it. And that's okay. That needs to happen. People's identities shouldn't be politicized. But of course it's going to, because sometimes existence in of itself is a defiance of the status quo. But to get off of that, I think that whenever people get something bright and shiny and new, they automatically think that it's better, when really not much has changed. Like, companies are more willing to use inclusive to make profits because the climate has changed. And like, they're playing on both sides. I firmly believe that folks like Disney and stuff, they're not trying to be more diverse necessarily because they care about minority groups, but because they know that minority groups are more willing to pay for stuff. And they also know that folks who hate on minorities are willing to pay for stuff as well, because remember how I talked about how negative engagement is positive to companies because they just want to take up everybody's attention. So like, the neckbeards who are going to hate watch the Little Mermaid, they're gonna pay to get the Little Mermaid movie, and they're gonna talk about it, and that's gonna be free advertising and stuff, and more people are gonna watch it just so they can hate on it and so forth. People are gonna buy the doll. People are gonna buy the doll just so they can burn it, to say that they're defying the company conspiracy and all this other kind of stuff. And that's gonna make just as much money for Disney as the folks who are like, oh, my daughter finally has somebody who she could look up to on the screen, so I'm gonna buy these dolls and stuff so she can have something to play with. Just like Chloe Stans is just like, yes, we stan Chloe Bailey. Not Chloe Stans, Halle Bailey. So don't mind. It's about time these companies start pandering to me. I just personally would rather not deal with the companies to begin with. Like, because it tends to be low effort and stuff. Like, Disney does not care. Because if they cared about inclusion, they wouldn't have done the Mulan movie the way that they did. They wouldn't have done the Aladdin movie the way that they did. Like, Aladdin is an Arabic fairy tale, but they based the live action version off of India, and that's like treating South Asians as a monolith. And then with the Mulan movie, both domestic audiences and Chinese audiences literally hated the live action version, because even though the original wasn't all too accurate, there was a lot more effort into the art and the story and like the relationship between Mulan and her dad, and they sort of turned it into a propaganda film of like serving the state and stuff. And it's just like, come on, guys. Like, I don't think that we should be happy or even dependent on companies for pandering to us, especially when, as minority artists, we make the content that we want to see because we know that nobody else is going to make it for us. Now I'm looking up how to draw pants because I forgot how to draw pants. Rest in peace. We make the content that we want to see because we know that nobody else is going to do it for us. And sometimes that gets frustrated. Sometimes you don't want to have to make what you want to see all the damn time. The fact that this isn't the status quo, that diversity in media isn't normal already, that it's always treated as a spectacle or something brand new because of how like folks have been excluded from the industry for so long. It's annoying, but I would still rather give like an indie creator $1 than pay Disney like $15 a month to constantly disappoint me. And this isn't to say that Disney doesn't have good stuff sometimes. I'm watching Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur because like I don't pay Disney. My mom does because she likes Disney stuff. Actually, where's that original picture that I took from? There it is. I'm not paying for it. My mom is. Like, they bait the hell out of gay characters and it's 2 seconds of content. Yep. Or how something like the Princess and the Frog and Soul. And it's just like, yeah, we got a black person and then they're inhuman for most of the movie. Like, they did that. You know, that kind of shit, that's not okay. I refuse to accept that because it's crumbs. I am hungry for content and I refuse to get nothing that's less than a full meal. Because there are people who are willing to do it, but it's literally just executives' fault. It's literally executives' fault. Like, this is something that requires top-down administrative changes. And I think that it should start with just, I wouldn't necessarily say destroy Disney, but I would say just screw the industry and restart. I watched Soul because, okay, this is one of those half and half situations where even though the situation surrounding the project is bullshit, because there are people who you support on the team, you still want to see it somewhat succeed. This is one of those things that require nuance. Like, I'm not going to dick ride a company for doing the bare minimum, but if it's something that with people that I believe in, then, and I see that they're putting in the effort, then I'm going to tune in. It was a great movie. I love that movie. Like, literally my only complaint with it is simply that the black person is non-human for most of the film. But like, aside from that, it is a solid film. The way that I describe it is that it's not necessarily about finding purpose, but sort of rethinking how you define purpose. Like, it's about a music teacher who wants to do jazz professionally, and life happens where he has to sort of reevaluate his choices, and he goes through all sorts of shenanigans in order to figure himself out. That's the best way to summarize it without any spoilers. And it's a fun film, and I really like the soundtrack, because I think that the soundtrack, like, he's a musician, so of course the soundtrack sort of helps to sell those themes, but it's just like the way that it's composed. I can't remember the name of the I can't remember the name of the composer. I know that he's a jazz musician, but it's John something. It's like John Baptiste something. It's French, and there's a Jean in there. I'm gonna use just a different color so I can differentiate between the layers. Like, I cried a little bit when I watched that movie, and I cried for two reasons. Because I would have liked to see the black person be human for more than like 10 minutes in the entire film, but also because it is genuinely very good. It's cheesy, but that's like Pixar movies in general, or Disney animation movies in general. They always have like a cheesy premise, but like the execution of it to get you emotionally invested. Because let's be honest, something like Monsters University is really cheesy. Or at least I considered the trailers for Monster University really cheesy, because like, one is a sequel, and two, it is just like, oh, what if your favorite characters went to college? I'm like, I don't even want to think about going to college. I hate my classes sometimes. At least for me personally. Like, I like my classes now. I used to be an animation major. Now I'm in studio arts and technology. And, how the fuck do you draw this coat? But, like, when I actually saw Monsters University, I'm like, yeah, this is good shit. And it kind of makes the original movie hit a little bit harder. Because to see how they got to where they are. Game ending black characters so fast was so lame to me. Yeah. And see, that's why I don't trust Disney even whenever they do like colorblind casting. Cause it's just like, okay, here's my thing about The Little Mermaid, right? As an example. Pretty much, I'm tired of folks inserting POC into European environments. I'm tired of European stories being the only thing being put to the forefront. Like, I want to see Yoruba fairy tales. I want to see South Asian fairy tales. Besides The Jungle Book, even though The Jungle Book is good. Like, I like The Jungle Book, and I like the live action version. Like, they just... I miss when the live actions were more like, what if we made the original thing more epic? Or what if we did a reimagining, like the Maleficent movie, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the Maleficent movie, because that one scene where she lost her wings, like, I know what that was meant to represent, but I'm just like, why did you feel that that was necessary to put into a children's movie? Like, I'm very picky when it comes to stuff like that being put into films in general, because usually it's done as a spectacle, or it's just like, we need the ultimate tragedy in order to give a woman something to bounce back off of, and it's just like, you could do something different. It's okay. There's more than one thing to do. Yeah, that scene was a lot. Like, I was like 8 years old when that came out. I think I was 8 years old. I can't remember what year that came out. But like, I knew that I was still old enough to understand, or at least I knew that I was old enough to understand because like my mom, she works in public health and she does a lot of youth outreach and stuff. And she's of the firm belief that the earlier that you talk about those things, the less likely you are to get hurt in these situations because you know how to spot it. Because like people who do stuff like that, they take advantage of the ignorance. So that's how I knew. It says 2014. Oh damn, I was 14. I don't know why I thought it was 8. It just feels so long ago, especially compared to all of the live action stuff now. But yeah, but yeah, that's how I knew what it was supposed to mean, because I'm like, this feels wrong. Why did they put that in here? My 14-year-old was shook. I'm like, they put this in a Disney movie? And I can't even say that they're following off of the original, because not even the original fairy tale had that. It was like, it actually happened to Aurora, but it was just, whoever was in the studio was wilding that day. And so were the folks who like allowed that. I'm like this was a team effort. I'm tracing over the shirt lines because I forgot that I'm not showing the sleeves of the shirt. But that was just wild. What was I talking about again? I'm tired of European fairy tales being the only ones being showcased, and no matter how many people of color you put in there, that doesn't erase the fact that you're still like paying tribute to European cultures. Like, I'll use The Witcher as an example. Even though The Witcher even sucks with the European culture representation, like there's been a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and like Henry Cavill has complained about it, even though and sometimes Henry Cavill was sort of in the wrong. But like the Witcher is based off of Polish folklore, and you really don't see that influence much in the Netflix show. You see that more so in the books because that's the original source material, and in the video games because they use that for like creature design with the different encounters that you deal with. But in order to encourage more ethnic diversity, and they got permission from the author who made it, it was just like, is it okay? Like, we know that the continent is pretty much just Poland, but we're going to we wanted to appeal to a wider audience and stuff, so we wanted to have more cultural diversity. The problem was that the cultural diversity was only in the casting alone. I think what they should have done, if they really wanted to showcase differences and stuff, was to actually incorporate the cultures of the actors that they casted. Like Anya Kalantra, who plays as Yennefer, she's South Asian. She's specifically, I think she's half Indian specifically. And it would have been nice to see her wear something like a sari or something, but still in Yennefer's classic colors, because she always wears black and white. And to be honest, I blame the costume department, because like, okay, season 1 costume department, like the head costume designer ended up getting fired because of the job that they did. Because like the armor for one of the antagonists in there, which was called Nilfgaard, they had wrinkly armor. and everybody in the fandom called it ball sack armor because it's just like, what is that? Like, why would you do that? Why would you make that? Why would you put that on those extras who obviously aren't getting paid enough to do that? Like, why would you do that? But it's just like something as simple as like giving the black actresses protective hairstyles, putting a sari on Yennefer. You know, being culturally inclusive outside of just surface level appearance. Incorporating the other cultures into the story by like having multicultural creatures instead of just Polish ones. Like, there's a reason why, like, I'm not a big fan of I was never a Little Mermaid fan to begin with. My sister is, though, because Ariel is her favorite Disney princess. My favorite Disney princess movie was Sleeping Beauty when I was, like, really little, because I liked the VFX. And, I liked the VFX. And Merryweather, who was the blue fairy, was my favorite character in there. And I really liked the fight scene against Maleficent. But then, when I was in kindergarten, I ended up liking Mulan because I love Eddie Murphy. So, like, to hear Eddie Murphy in a Disney movie was just... And this was before Haunted Mansion came out. So, like, I was just like, oh, Eddie Murphy's in a Disney movie. Let's go. And it was nice to see a princess fight back and not be persecuted for it. Because, like, when I was little, I dealt with a lot of bullying and stuff. And, like, whenever I would defend myself, I would get yelled at by teachers and stuff. Because it's just like, oh, you know better. And I'm like, know better than to what? Let somebody hit me? Like, be serious. But, and this isn't to shit on the other earlier princesses like Aurora or Cinderella or Snow White for not fighting back, because they weren't able to. They were teenagers. And they had everything going against them. It would have been difficult for them to fight back in their condition. But, like, it was nice to see a princess not only be able to fight, because, you know, her family was giving her support and stuff, and her friends even defended her, and she got proper training and stuff. Like, a lot of things that people overlook whenever they talk about, like, Disney princesses and empowerment is that a lot of the quote-unquote empowered princesses are that way because they are a part of a community that helps them to succeed. Like, Tiana works hard because her parents were hard workers and they taught her those values. Mulan was able to succeed as a warrior because her parents were giving her support and her ancestors were giving her support, and they sent Mushu to give her support so she could stay protected during the war. Belle stood up to Gaston because her father taught her to have confidence in herself and in her intelligence and stuff. The list goes on and on. Like, people sometimes underestimate how environment can shape how that makes you as a person. But yeah, I do not care for The Little Mermaid because I simply was not into The Little Mermaid. But, like, if I were to judge a time where Disney did colorblind casting and it felt more like a cultural retelling, like they were engaging with the culture of the actors instead of just putting multicultural actors in a still European fairy tale. I say that 1997 Cinderella does a better job because it wasn't just, oh, we're doing covers of the original soundtrack and stuff. No, we're gonna give Brandy a whole new outfit. We're going to do a new soundtrack in the style of the folks that we're incorporating, because Whitney Houston, she was one of the executive producers of the movie. I miss Whitney Houston. Also, apparently, like, if you still keep up with Disney stuff, apparently in Descendants, Brandy and Paolo was the Filipino actor who played as the prince in the 1997 Cinderella. They're gonna make a comeback because, like, I can't remember Cinderella's son's name. And why did I put this in the lab coat layer? I want to cry. I cry. Apparently, they're going to make a guest appearance in the new Descendants movie. I personally think that the Descendants movie should have ended when Cameron Boyd died, because he's literally one of the 4 main characters. And I guess they're gonna do a tribute, but like, they already did a tribute to him. And there was an animated show, because like, my sister, she was really into Descendants. Like, Descendants for her was High School Musical for me, which is kind of a given, because the dude who choreographed High School Musical also choreographed Descendants, and it shows. Like, you know how whenever you see somebody's work and other stuff and you know that it's them? Like, that's how iconic. I can't even remember his name, but I remember his work. Which is a little bit sad, because as artists, we're more than just what we contribute to others. But I'm at least still thankful for it. But like, they already did a tribute to Cameron, so it's just like, what the hell else can you do? Plus, I thought that the situation was already settled, because it's just like, they went against Maleficent, who was trying to take over Auradon, and then they went against Uma, who was speaking out against the other villain kids being left out in the program. Who was speaking out against other kids being left out in the program. The way that I drew these shoes, Lord help. And then the last one was Audrey, who was just like, where's my happily ever after? Because, like, let's be honest, Mal X Ben is one of the most garbage ships that I've seen in a long time. And that's saying a lot. Actually, no, I wouldn't say in a long time, because I see garbage ships like every other day on the TL. Like, these are fandoms that I'm not even following, but because my mutuals follow, I end up seeing stuff about it, and I'm just like, wow. This is all ass. Like, damn, bitch, that's what you watching? Like, you know how it's just like, damn, bitch, that's what your room looks like? It's like that meme. It's like, damn. But just, Malek's Ben is a really garbage ship, because, like, the whole thing was built off of a love potion. It was just like, well, he liked her the whole time, so the love potion technically didn't do anything. And I'm like, how the hell are we supposed to know? How are we supposed to know that Ben liked Mal the whole time when he was literally in a relationship with Aubrey? I know my fair share of garbage ships. I get you. Yeah, like, he was in a relationship with Aubrey, and then after he ate the cookie, he left Aubrey to get with Mal. Like, wait, what interest did he show towards Mal before she gave him that enchanted cookie? I would have shipped him with Uma before I would have shipped him with Mal. But maybe because I like China and McLean. I could be coming from a place of bias. But at least a relationship between Ben and Uma wouldn't have been coercive. Like the bar is in hell. Gotta draw the boobs different. Something is wrong. I like how I went from talking about OCs fervently to like talking about industry problems and talking about my gripes with Disney. Life do really be like that. Like, it's kind of hard for me to stay on subjects sometimes because I find something that's like adjacent to the subject that I'm talking to. Thanks for being here for it. I appreciate that. Cause like I said with the thing, I'm drawing OCs and I'm rambling. And this emphasis on the ramble part. Although honestly I could talk about these two more. So like how these two end up meeting, Nima and Bakura, is that so as I said earlier, Nima kills magical creatures and stuff as like a side hobby in order to calm down and shit. And in order to chill out. And let me make this whole thing blue so I can keep stuff separated and not accidentally get lost. What was I trying to think? She kills supernatural creatures as like a side hobby in order to chill out. And one day she ends up killing the wrong person. And by the wrong person, it's like you mess with the wrong one sort of thing. How they were mob affiliated. So as retribution, the mob ends up making her one of their hit people until she could like have that debt repaid. So as a sort of retribution, they made her the personal hit woman until she has that debt repaid, and whether they decide that debt is repaid. I feel like I messed up somehow. Maybe, what kind of outfit was I trying to get her to wear? Let me see how tall I was gonna make it. I don't know, she still feels too tall. And she's not even tall. She's 5'5". It's just she's 5'8" because she's in heels. This is the outfit that she was gonna wear. Yeah, and that's a heeled outfit. Or maybe it's just the scaling of her body compared to his. Maybe draw her as 5'5" first. I did that, but it's not working. Maybe maybe I should probably, I don't know, Okay, so what I'm gonna do is just merge these layers. No, not all of the visible ones. Just these specifically. And then turn down the opacity and then start again. Because, like, Nima is my OC. I'm supposed to get her right. Like, there's no reason. Excuse me. Well, there is a reason. It could be my group being thrown off since earlier today. But we're still gonna try. We're gonna try to have a good day. But yeah, she messed with the wrong one, and now she's the hitman for the mob. So the area that the organization that Bakura is a part of, they are capturing Nature near mob territory because, like, these are undesirable. They're making sure to get undesirables, you know, people that folks wouldn't miss. So it's harder to, like, be detected. But because it's sort of near mob territory, they're kind of being detected. So, the mob is essentially having Nima to interfere with these retrieval missions and stuff, and to get intel on the operations and whatnot. And that's where she clashes with Bakura. And, like, they don't clash directly because, like I said, he's not a combatant person. He's not a combative person. But he's in the field, so, like, he's seen what she's done to his comrades and stuff. Like, she's killed a couple of them, she's knocked a couple of them out, and all he could do was just, like, sit there in fear. But, like, he tries to confront her on his own because, like, he's trying to dismantle the organization. So it's just like, oh, she could be an ally. To help me with my endeavors. So, like, he tries to do an alliance with her. And he's like, I can help you be free of the folks that you're in debt to if you help me with my operation. So right now I'm looking up a reference on how to draw fat. Because no matter how many times I draw it, I still forget. Rest in peace. I cry. That's why I need to make these character sheets so I don't constantly have to, like, relearn how to draw them every time. It's like I forget after it's been a while. And, like, on one hand it's a little bit endearing because it's like, oh, hello, old friend. But on the other hand, it's just like, damn. It's like forgetting your loved one's birthday. It's like, you should have known by now. I'm glad that I remember my loved ones' phone, like my loved ones' birthdays and stuff. Most of these don't have B-days because there's no way I remember anyway. Yeah, that's a mood. I put a birthday there for like random stuff. Like I would just randomly look up a zodiac page, which is probably a bad way to characterize them. But like I would use the profile as a base to work off of, and it works. So like I would use that as a base and then I would develop further. So like I do know that Nima is a Libra. No, she's not a Libra, she's a Leo. I'm a Libra. She has more butt than belly, that's why. She's Leo, because Leos are like bosses. And she's a girl boss. What's that one meme? There's like a meme where it's like draw this and it's like your belly pouch, but it's in a skirt. Like the skirt is over the belly. I need that. I need that now. But I don't know where it is. Wait, I might know where it is. Hold on. Me when I have vague ideas of where to find other vague ideas from. Find it. I've learned. Relearn how to draw fat. Damn it. something to be said on top. I'm trying to be. Gotta ink my comic. Oh, cool! What kind of comic are you doing? It's a webcomic like fantasy, slice of life. Oh, nice. I'm gonna find that damn picture because I know it's going to save my life. Or maybe I saved that picture at some point. But I wish you luck with your webtoon. So are you posting on Webtoons or on Tapas? Is this a side thing that you're doing? If you don't mind me asking. Is this a side thing that you're doing or something that you're trying to do professionally? It's on Tapas. It's called Cafe on Creep Island. Oh, that's awesome. You be careful with Kappas, depending on the kind of content that you're posting. Even though Kappas, I said Kappas, oh my gosh. Tapas has a wider allowance of content. Sometimes their terms of service could be a bit vague. But I do wish you the luck with your project. I might read it. Because like I like fantasy stuff and I also like slice of life stuff. The kind of webcomics I tend to gravitate towards are usually like comedy or fantasy comedy. I like comedy stuff. Well, that's good. I need to find that specific picture. I think it's the key to my problem. But there was like a meme about it, so I don't know how to find it. Cause like it was just a short trending meme. Do you plan to do something with your OCs too? So like with these, this is for a collab project that I'm doing with someone, and that's going to be a comic. And then there's like another OC project that I'm doing where I'm like building a world, and I want to do stuff like drawing infographics of lore. Excuse me. With like lore and stuff. Like, have you ever heard of this one artist named Filibuster Frog? They're more active on Tumblr because that's where they post their like homebrew D&D stuff. Nope. I'll find them real quick because I really like their art style and I really like the amount of work that they put towards world building. Here's a link to the master post. And that's like all of the links to all of their homebrew stuff. Cause like the amount of detail that they go into like rebuilding what's already there. And I like cute stuff like that. think I found what I needed. Okay. Yeah, I love them. And I aspire to be on their level or on the level of another artist that I follow named Dialing Number 9. Now, I'm not going to link them because I don't know if Twitch, I need to reread the terms of service again. I don't know if Twitch has a thing against like NSFW links. Cause like that is an NSFW page. But that person I think is a biology major or a lab tech or something. Dialing Number 9. And they're either a lab tech or a biology major, and their thing is doing speculative biology. So like speculative biology is using your knowledge of like how living things work, and you're making your own original species and stuff. Think of Subnautica, because apparently Subnautica actually takes a lot of inspiration. Like, because apparently there's like a documentary on the animals of Subnautica. This looks so wrong. So like you're gonna have to look up that person on your own, because like I don't know if I can send lewd links, because they do make lewd art sometimes, but they also, it's also because they have gore on there, because like some of the monsters that they create is a bit of horror feel, so it's a little bit of everything inappropriate. But like seeing the sort of scientific application of how they draw